Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. The Mandalorian Season 2 has finally come to an end, and today I'll be giving you my review of the season. Before we go any further, I would appreciate it if you guys would like this video and subscribe. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about the season as a whole first, and then talk about each individual episode. Alright, so first let's talk about what I think of the season in a broad sense. First off, I thought the action was very well done. I don't think there was a bad fight sequence throughout the entire season. Also, some other stuff that people don't think about as much. I thought the lighting, the sound design, the costumes, the CGI was very good. I also thought the CGI was noticeably better than last season. The best part of the season, I thought, was hands down the relationship and character development of Mando and Baby Yoda. And yes, I will be referring to Grogu as Baby Yoda throughout this review. One, because Baby Yoda has been ingrained in my brain, and two, because I think the name Grogu is dumb. Am I the only one that thinks that Grogu is a dumb name? I don't know. I don't know what the general consensus is about it on the internet. Alright. I'm going to start getting into spoilers now, so, because I will now be talking about each episode individually. So if you haven't watched The Mandalorian Season 2, or if you still need to catch up on a couple of episodes or something, and you don't want to be spoiled, I would recommend clicking off this video now. Alright, so let's start off with the first episode in the season, Chapter 9. I thought that Chapter 9 was a very strong episode. I think out of all the episodes in this series that could have been labeled as side quest episodes, I think this was my favorite side quest episode of the show. It starts off with Mando on some planet that I don't know the name of, trying to get a lead on where to find some other Mandalorians. This opening scene I thought was very good, and is probably actually better than Season 1's opening scene. He then journeys to Tatooine, where he talks to the one mechanic lady. I think she's probably the one character in this season that I don't like. I don't know why, it just feels like she doesn't fit. I don't know if it's the acting or something, but her whole character just seems off. He then makes his way to Mos Pelgo, which is a new city in Star Wars lore, so that's pretty cool. He then comes into contact with Cobb Vanth, who apparently is a character from one of the books that I haven't read. He's also wearing Boba Fett's armor, and Mando wants it back because only Mandalorians are allowed to wear Mandalorian armor. So Cobb Vanth says that he'll give back the armor if he helps him kill the Krayt Dragon. I believe the Krayt Dragon is the animal that Obi-Wan makes the sound of in Episode 4 to scare off the Sand People. You know, the scream that has just been special edition to death. But anyway, Mando and Cobb Vanth killed the Krayt Dragon, and Mando gets Boba Fett's armor. So overall, it was a good episode. Alright, now we move on to Chapter 10, which I think is universally considered among Star Wars fans as the worst of the season. And yes, it is also my least favorite of the season. I don't think that the episode is bad, but I definitely wouldn't call it good either. There isn't much that happens. It's just a lot of sitting around until Baby Yoda wakes up an army of ice spiders. They almost die, but they don't, and they barely make it out with a working ship. Next, we got Chapter 11. Looking back on it, Chapter 11 was actually a very simple episode, but I think it's done very well. Mando finally comes into contact with 3 other Mandalorians, and one of them happens to be none other than Bo-Katan. One of the most interesting things about this episode was the explanation of the different sects of Mandalorians and how they follow different beliefs. Bo-Katan says that he's a child of the Watch, a group of Mandalorians that follow the ancient ways. But the way that Bo-Katan says it seems like a cult. And Mando responds with a pretty badass line that, saying that there's only one way, the way of the Mandalore. Now there is something that confuses me here. Bo-Katan says that Mando is a child of the Watch, which probably is short for Child of Death Watch. We know that Mando was saved by the Death Watch, and in the scene of him getting saved, Death Watch was still wearing their blue armor, implying that it happened before Death Watch was taken over by Darth Maul, and they changed their armor to red. Bo-Katan was a former member of Death Watch, and if Bo-Katan was on Death Watch and Mando was being raised by Death Watch, I don't know why these two wouldn't actually know each other. If any of you know, please tell me why in the comments. Next, we move on to Chapter 12. Now this was another filler episode, but it was good. We are reunited with Cara Dune and Greef Karga for the first time since Season 1. This was probably the most action-packed episode out of all the episodes this season, and it's all very good and entertaining. The big takeaway from this episode was the scene of the failed clones in the test tube. I couldn't tell if it was a failed clone of Palpatine or a failed attempt of creating Snoke, but we finally know why the Empire wants Baby Yoda so much. Also, this episode I thought had the most epic Baby Yoda moments. Next, we move on to Chapter 13. This is probably the most slow-paced episode out of all the episodes this season, but the information that comes out of this episode more than makes up for its slow pace. Mando comes into contact with Ahsoka, and they test Grogu to see if he has what it takes to become a Jedi. He ends up passing, but Ahsoka is reluctant to train him because she senses the personal connection he has with Mando. She's scared of this because, of course, of what happened with Anakin. She also isn't a Jedi, so she can't technically train him. But she does give Mando a lead on where to take Baby Yoda next. We move on to Chapter 14 now. I think I'm going to retract my statement that I made earlier about Chapter 12 being the most action-packed, because actually I think this one is. Boba Fett shows up and you immediately know this guy isn't fucking around. Also, Fennec apparently is alive, and to be honest, I don't really care. It was cool to see them all face to face. They all faced off with stormtroopers. I also really liked that mortar trooper with the yellow markings. He was cool. We also get to see the Dark Troopers in action, which were apparently in Legends, and these are the Mark III versions. And in the end, those motherfuckers steal Baby Yoda. Chapter 15 sees the return of Bill Burr, and they gotta go get some info so they can get back Baby Yoda. I really liked the train sequence with the pirates and Mando. I thought it was really well choreographed. Mando also takes off his helmet, just showing how much his character has changed, and just how far he's willing in order to get Baby Yoda back. One of the best scenes of the episode is when Bill Burr, Mando, and that Admiral were just talking. We get a glimpse into Bill Burr's backstory, and it was really well acted, with some really good emotion. Finally, on to the finale, Chapter 16. Now, I'm seeing that a lot of people actually didn't like the finale all that much, but I really liked it. I also feel like a series finale. It also felt like a series finale, but we'll get into that in a minute. The fight between Gideon and Mando was really well done, and we also get to see Mando fight with the Beskar spear. Mando also claims the Darksaber without fully realizing what he's doing. Mando clearly doesn't understand what it is and what he just did by picking it up. Bo-Katan gets really pissed off when she sees Mando wielding the Darksaber because whoever holds the Darksaber is the ruler of Mandalore, and it must be won in combat in order for one to take it. Bo-Katan has been trying this whole season to find the Darksaber and take back her power, but since Mando now wields the Darksaber, technically he is now the ruler of the Mandalorians. Now let's talk about the Luke Skywalker scene, shall we? I personally almost cried, because right when I saw the X-Wing, I knew it was him. This is the first time we saw Luke Skywalker on screen since 1983. Fuck The Last Jedi. This is the first time we saw the actual Luke Skywalker in 37 years. Now, there is a small corner of the fandom that aren't happy about the Luke ending. They're saying it was lazy, and they thought that it should have gone in a different direction. Bro, who the fuck did you think was going to show up? Ezra? Cal Kestis? Who might not even be alive, considering Jedi Fallen Order hasn't come out yet, and we don't know if he's even going to fucking survive or not. And I really hope he isn't alive, because I don't know if I'm the only one who still believes this, but I really like the idea of Luke being the last Jedi left during the original trilogy. He's the last hope, the last reminder of the Jedi. If he dies, then the Jedi go extinct forever. But now apparently Ahsoka and Ezra were just somewhere fucking around the galaxy. Just dumb. There's also a lot of people saying that Mace Windu should have showed up. They really would have had to pull that out of their ass. Guys, until I see it on screen, Mace Windu's dead. He's fucking dead. There are people saying that it was fan service for Luke to show up. But Luke is the only option. He's the only Jedi left. He is the Jedi. You guys really think it would have been cool if Cal Kestis just shows up out of the blue? It also makes sense that Luke shows up, because Luke is the only Jedi Master in the galaxy, the only one who can give Grogu a proper training. There are also a lot of people who didn't like the CGI, This one I can understand. It's a bit off. The technology just isn't quite there yet. I don't think it's as bad as some people are making it out to be, though. But, I mean, well, what are you going to do? But anyways, that is my review of Mandalorian Season 2. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.